Welcome to MirrorFly, a unified communications product for real-time chat, audio, and video calls SDK. In this video, I will guide you through the process of integrating push notifications for the Android platform. Let us start with the Firebase integration into the application. In Step 1, create a project in the Firebase Console. Create a new project in the Firebase by clicking on the Add Project. Enter the name of the new project. Choose the default account for Firebase in Google Analytics account. It would take some time to create the project with the name Push Notification v3. Now successfully created the project in the Firebase console. Let us start with adding Firebase to your Android application from the Firebase Project Overview page. A prompt will open to enter the package name of the app. In the Android application, under the build.gradle file, you can find the application ID. This ID can be added as the Android package name. Then add app nickname for reference. The app is connected to the Firebase. Now all the cloud-based as well as server-based services can be easily used in the app. So now the application is registered with the Firebase successfully. Moving on to Step 2 in Firebase Integration. Download the google-service.json file, which is automatically generated. Add the Firebase SDK code to app level in the build.gradle of the app. Then, copy the downloaded google-service.json file and add that into your Android application within the app folder. Moving on to Step 4 in Firebase Integration, add all the Firebase dependencies in the project level build.gradle file. Paste the copied dependencies in build.gradle file. In the Step 5, apply plugin in app/build.gradle. Paste the Google Service plugin code in the build.gradle file. Remove the apply plugin and replace it as ID. Now copy the dependencies. Paste it in build.gradle file. Remove the platform. After adding the dependencies for the products you want to use, sync your Android project with Gradle files. Let us now start with integrating the Firebase push notification. In Step 1, add the FCM dependency to your app level build.gradle file. Add the FCM messaging dependencies in build.gradle file. Firebase Cloud Messaging is a cross-platform messaging solution that lets you reliably send messages. In Step 2, add the following line to your app manifest file: a service that extends Firebase Messaging Service. This is required if you want to do any message handling beyond receiving notifications on apps in the background. In Step 3, create MyFirebase Messaging Service file in your application that extends Firebase Messaging Service. In my application, I created a new class with the name MyFirebase Messaging Service. This is to receive notifications in foregrounded apps, to receive data payload, to send upstream messages, and so on. You must extend this service. Copy the Firebase Messaging Service code. On message received method, when push message will be received here when push notification triggered for this device. On new token method, whenever the device token is updated, this method will be triggered. In Step 4, enable cloud messaging in Firebase. You can enable cloud messaging in the following link. Select the organization from the list. Then I have selected the project as Push Notification v3. Following that, I'm enabling the cloud messaging to the selected project. Once enabled, you will be delivered with the messages from notification in your application. In Step 5, copy Cloud Messaging API key and configure it in the chat server to receive messages and calls from Chat SDK. You can find Cloud Messaging API key in Project Settings under Cloud Messaging tab. Copy the server key under the Cloud Messaging API. Go to our MirrorFly console page. If you are Easy or paid customer, it shows the server configuration under the API credentials. You can paste the Firebase API key. Then select the server deployment region. Then set your package name as you registered in Firebase Console. Once added all the details, you can request to initiate the setup. Once setup successfully, request has been initiated in Cloud Server. However, it shows request pending status. Once completed, you will be notified an email on setup completion, approximately time 2 to 3 hours. You will get the dedicated server domain and Firebase key for push notification. In step 6, open the Android manifest.xml and add following permissions. To add user permission, open the Android manifest.xml and add the below permissions to integrate the Firebase notification. You must declare all permission requests with an element in the manifest. If the permission is granted, the app is able to use the protected features. In step 7, get the device token and add in Cloud Message Console. You need to retrieve the current token, call Firebase Messaging.get instance method in my main activity file. Now let's integrate Firebase Crashlytics. To set up this Crashlytics using the Firebase Crashlytics SDK, with that you can get comprehensive crash reports of your app in the Firebase Console. In step 1, add the Crashlytics in your project level build.gradle. Add the dependencies for the Crashlytics Gradle libraries. In step 2, add Crashlytics in your app level build.gradle. Add the plugin ID for the Firebase Crashlytics. Remove the Apply plugin and replace it as ID. Then add the dependencies for the app level build.gradle file. After added Crashlytics to your application. In first time, it will take more than 12 hours to affect the Firebase Crashlytics UI. After adding the dependencies for the products you want to use, sync your Android project with Gradle files. Let's start with integrating push notification in application. If you are updating FCM device token, use the following method. You need to update the FCM device token to the server, so that server can send push notifications by using the updated FCM device token. If you want to update the FCM device token, you can utilize the below method. Let's see how to handle the received chat SCM message. When you have received a Firebase push notification in your Firebase messaging service, you can easily identify the push notification received for the chat SDK and delegate the processing work to the SDKs. Paste the code in my Firebase messaging service class. Now build the notification by calling the create notification channel method. Construct a notification channel object with a unique channel ID, channel name, and context. These channels will trigger the incoming notifications. I have set the value in the notification manager.importance as default. It controls how interruptive notifications are posted to these channels. Then call the send push notification method. It can be sent directly to a user's mobile device. Unlike in-app messages, push notifications can appear on a lock screen or in the top section of a mobile device. An app publisher can only send a push notification if the user has their app installed. Then call the build versions for required API. For connectivity manage.active network, minimum required OS for an Android is Marshmallow or next versions. Only then, this code will be executed. Now run the app in an emulator or in a plugged-in device. I have successfully initialized the app. Let's see the demo for push notification. In left side, I have my application, and on the right side, I'm using the sample app for testing. To start with, register a user in MirrorFly. Once registration is successful, then send the message to the receiver. Receiver is on the foreground state. Successfully received the push notification in foreground state. Now my app is in the background state. Now the receiver sends a reply to the message to the sender. Great. Successfully received the push notification in background state. Great. Hope this video is helpful for you in your MirrorFly Firebase push notification integrations. MirrorFly is the best platform to build in-app chat and calls in your application. Check out our documentation page for more such tutorials that would ease your integration setup. We have a dedicated customer success team to assist you with your questions and help you pass through the blockers with ease. Thank you, and have a good day.